Okay, good afternoon and welcome to another session of GEM tutorial. And we're going to begin our session as we usually do with prayer and our song before we go into our lesson for today. Yeah, go ahead.
156.
Okay, so let's repeat our verse from Psalms. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Let's repeat that. Come, Anthony, let's go. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Good.
Let us pray. Thank you, precious Father, for your loving kindness and tender mercy. Bless this moment, this study, and Lord, may the children, even the adults, Lord, be blessed by this service that is rendering for your honor and your glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay. Remember, our mission statement is true success is helping others to succeed. So make sure every day you find something to do to help somebody else to succeed, to put a smile on the face, to make them happier, to make them feel better. You'll be blessed and you'll be blessing someone else.
Okay.
Next one. Okay, our next text, Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. Very good. Let's go again, Joy. Genesis 2:7. Okay, we're going to sing our gem song now.
Welcome all students to our class today. God in education will teach you how to pray. Put your trust in Jesus and show you the way to fulfill the love of Christ of joy and peace. Welcome all students to our class today. God in education will teach you how to pray. Hallelujah, put your trust in Jesus and show you the way to fulfill the love of Christ of joy and peace. Welcome all students to our class today. God in education will teach you how to pray. Put your trust in Jesus and show you the way to fulfill the love of Christ of joy and peace. How? Join GEM tutorial. Join GEM tutorial. Join GEM tutorial today. Join GEM tutorial. 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 Join GEM tutorial today.
Okay, so today for our lesson, we'll continue on water. We had water 2 weeks ago. Last week, we did the volcano. We'll have a little revision of that because we know right now the volcano is erupting. I think it's one in St. Vincent, the little Caribbean island, erupting, causing a lot of damage. So we'll review.
So we start off with
I
the
don't
word.
have the volcano.
We're starting out with the word.
Sometimes I see 3 in there, sometimes I see 4.
But today our focus
They
is
just
on
they're shooting from different kids.
water. Good.
But I do remember him saying that we were going to be starting to have to start to
Okay, good.
yeah, she's really doing.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing we want to show you is the beautiful earth that God created. Now, let's take a look at that beautiful earth that world that God created.
Right.
Yes.
It's a globe we want.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm still using the link I had there. Hold on.
Yeah, because you got some else.
I think you want to float in.
Yeah, yeah.
If you had in the first place, then you have to. Yeah, that's important.
Okay, okay.
He
We
got it on the screen.
right.
Yes.
Okay. Now
Yeah, right.
the earth right now we are divided into 6 continents, so we want to look at some of them. This is North America.
Right. Right there.
And North America is made up of the US and Canada. Canada is north of the US.
Okay. Then let's.
This is the
This is
Go ahead,
North
Joy.
America.
Mhm.
this is the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, the Pacific
Okay,
Ocean.
all
yes,
right.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go down to South America.
And we know South America is made up of all the Spanish-speaking countries, Argentina and Peru and Chile and all of those countries, and one English-speaking country, that's Guyana.
One English speaking country at the very north of South America, and that is the Great Guyana. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so that's North and South
That's
America.
South
So-
America.
Right.
This is North.
Right, and between those 2 continents, there's a Caribbean. There's a Caribbean
And Central America.
that includes Haiti, that includes Jamaica, that includes St. Lucia,
St. Vincent,
Jamaica.
Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Martinique,
That's-
Guadeloupe.
That's where my
All of those are in the Caribbean, and in Central America, we have Nicaragua, we have Uruguay, we have.
What did you say, John? What did you?
nothing.
Okay,
Okay, good.
now, and we have Australia, or we can just mention them. We have Australia, you have Europe, we have Asia, and so we have 6 continents.
Right. Mhm.
Okay, so if you notice, there's a lot of water as you look at the map. About 70% of the earth is covered with water, 70%. Now that's a lot of water. In fact, there's more water below the ground, even though there's so much water above the ground. There's more water. Some scientists feel that there's more water below the ground than there is above the ground. For example, springs and a lot of bodies of water below the ground. And so that's what we
Like
want.
the
What's that?
Columbia River.
The Columbia River in Tennessee? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just one body of water above the ground, Joy. Very good. That's above the
Wow.
ground. That's a river.
You can see how big the Pacific is.
right.
The Pacific Ocean is huge.
This is it.
Wow. It's amazing how much water we have there. But why do you think God made water so plenteous? Water is probably one of the most valuable resources that we have in this whole world. Water, water, water.
Right, the
Okay.
same thing with our body is made up of over 70% of water. That's why
Okay.
it's so important to drink enough water every day so that you keep your body hydrated. You keep enough water in your body because our bodies are made up of over 70% of water. So we cannot live without water. It's a nutrient, really, just like your food that your body must get every day for it to function properly and to keep healthy.
Okay.
Put up the lesson, water.
Okay. Now, one thing we want to talk about is the water cycle. Now, what's a cycle? Do you have a cycle? What's a cycle?
Yeah, that means that when the air comes up, like and the clouds get together and make rain come back down and water comes back up.
Okay, very
Very
good,
good,
very
very
good.
good.
That's a good explanation. Good explanation. And Sonia, why don't you share, what your interpretation or understanding of the water cycle is?
A cycle is something that goes round and round and round. So the same water we find in the earth evaporates, goes up into the clouds, as it says, condenses. When it goes up, because it is cooler up there, it condenses and it falls back down as dew and rain, and the cycle continues. So it goes round and round. The same water fall down as rain, and it evaporates up into the clouds and comes back down again, and the cycle keeps on going.
It's like a circle.
Like
It
a
looks like a
circle,
circle.
right.
But let me ask you,
Good.
what's that?
Like when it rains, it gets foggy.
Right.
Right, that's water vapor in the air. But guess what? Where does the water from all the earth comes from? Where do we get water from the earth to go up in the air? Where does it come from? This part of the cycle. I'm going to tell you one. We get some from oceans. We get some from rivers.
From ponds.
We get from ponds.
Waterfalls.
Right. So there's
streams,
several sources of
lakes.
water that go up in the air. Several.
I think it's beach water, but it's salty.
Beach
Beach
water.
water is the seawater, yes. Yeah, it evaporates too. When it evaporates, the salt stays back. So only the water goes up.
Now, talking about salt, today we're going to talk something a little about salt, Anthony. We're going to share you some information with you about salt. Okay, so back again to the water cycle. The water condenses and it falls as rain. And once it falls as rain, we said it comes from different sources and goes back up in the air, and it cools and it falls back as rain. So, but what's the main ingredients or elements in water? What is the chemical formula for water? Who can tell us? Water.
Remember, Joy? What's the formula for water? Do you remember?
H2O.
Very good, Anthony. H2O.
Water is
Right,
H2O. Okay.
And what does H stands for? Joy, do you know? What does the H stands for, Joy? What's that? Hydrogen. Very good.
And what is O for?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Very good.
Water, right, water is two elements, hydrogen and oxygen.
Okay. All right. But before we look at the elements of water, I want to look at a few things. Now, Anthony said something about salt water. How did the salt get in the water? How did the salt get in the water? Now, I have some water here, okay? And I'm going to put a rock in this water. And I'm going to stir this water. I'm going to stir this water. But guess what? The rock would not dissolve. The rock would not dissolve. But guess what? If I put salt in the water, what do you think would happen?
It would dissolve.
It will dissolve. Very good, Joy. It will dissolve.
The
It
salt
melt
will
away.
dissolve.
Right.
Right. It will dissolve. So
Yes.
here I have some salt. I'm going to put a little bit more water. Okay. And here is my salt.
Y'all go in the room. Hold on. In the room and stop it in there.
Okay. When you look, you can see some salt at the bottom of this water. There's some salt at the bottom of this water. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stir this water. You know, the salt is disappearing. I notice the salt disappearing. The salt is not there anymore. Where did the salt go?
It dissolves.
It dissolved. That's the
Right,
correct
dissolved,
term.
right.
The salt dissolved. And that's why when you go in the ocean and you swim in the ocean, the water is salty because there's water that is dissolved in the salt that is dissolved in the ocean water. But if you heat water, do you think more salt will dissolve?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
if you
very
heat
good.
water, more salt dissolves in the water. If you cool water, less salt dissolves in it. So if I, like how I have this salt here, I stir this salt in the water, it dissolves. And after a while, it gets to a point that it can't dissolve any more salt. It can't, no matter how much I stir it, it can't dissolve any more salt. And this now is called a saturated solution. This is called a saturated solution.
How come you have baking soda?
What's that?
How come you have baking soda?
Yes, I do have baking soda. Okay. Okay. I'm going to stir this thing as much as I can, and it will get to a point where it becomes saturated. It can't dissolve any more salt. So this is called a saturated solution. And the scientists call the salt a solute, and they call the water a solvent. So Sonny, could you write that? A solute dissolves in a solvent. Anthony says solute.
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 Salt is the solute. And the scientific name for salt is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. Solute is a salt, solvent is the water. And when it can't dissolve anymore, it's called a saturated solution. Saturate means you're full, can't take any more. But you know what you can do to make it take more salt? You heat it. If you take the same water, you put it in a fire, even though it's not saturated, even though it's saturated, you stir it, then it now has the ability to hold more salt. Okay? What's the question?
Yes, Joy?
What's the question?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to try another liquid. No, I'll try another solute. By the way, I'm coming back to my rock. If you notice, my rock did not dissolve. As much as I stir my rock, my rock would not dissolve. So
Why didn't it dissolve? Somebody want to guess, Anthony or Joy? Why didn't the rock dissolve?
Because it was solid.
Because it's solid. Yes.
no, remember the salt was solid before it dissolved.
I think that it's too hard for the water to be dissolving.
Right.
You think
Too
the rock is
for
too
the wa-
hard?
For the water to
Well,
dissolve
what it is, there's some things that are soluble in water and some things that are not. Later on, when you start doing biology and you start understanding the body, you would realize that the way God made it is that some things that you eat become soluble in water in your body. And so once it dissolves, then the water can take it all parts of your body. So solubility is very important when you start to deal and understand the body and things in nature. Okay, now we'll look at something else. I will look at these here are called iron filings. I have some iron filings and I want to see if these iron filings are soluble in water. Huh?
What is that?
Okay. Now, before I start, what do you think? Do you think that iron filings are soluble in water? What do you think?
Soluble.
You think it's soluble?
Yeah.
You think iron filings will dissolve in water? We can check it. We can check it. Okay. Okay. Here it is.
Well, pretty ground.
Okay. You know, I'm storing this iron filings in the water and it's not dissolving. It's still there and it's not dissolving.
I guess it's like when you put metal in, something metal inside the water, and I put it where it is, and I put it out, and it's not like.
Because it's metal, right? It's not dissolving, right? It's not soluble.
Sticking on, that means that it's not
Dissolving.
dissolving.
Okay. I'm going to put just one more thing. I'm going to try one more thing in water. I want to get another set of water and I'm going to put some magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt. Okay. No, please. Okay. I'm going to put some magnesium sulfate in this water and we'll see if it dissolves. This is another salt. You think it will dissolve?
No.
Well, we'll find out. That's what science is all about. We'll find out.
Huh?
Wow, this is disappearing. This magnesium sulfate is disappearing. You just have to take my word for it. Right? Okay, now, how do you, let's ask Sister Sonia, what benefit magnesium sulfate has for your health?
We need magnesium for the proper functioning of our heart and our brains. If we do not have enough magnesium sulfate or magnesium, our heart and our brains will not function properly. Also, it helps in the absorption of iron, which is so important to help us make our red blood cells. So we have to have good levels of magnesium in our body if we want to regenerate and make new cells, new blood cells. And if we want our heart to function properly and our brains to function properly. So it will affect your learning, it will affect your memory, it will affect your focus, you know.
Okay, you know, a lot of people, when they get to a certain age, they have problems with dementia. I mean, they will be forgetting things, and sometimes they have Alzheimer's. There's something that, do you think magnesium could help them, and how, if so, how?
Definitely, they can take it as a supplement in liquid form. They can take it as a foot soak. Dissolve the Epsom salt in warm water and soak your feet in it, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And it goes up to the brain, to the heart, and it helps them function better.
Okay, so magnesium is very, very important. Okay, I'll just write down this formula. Epsom salt, it's very cheap to find Epsom salts in the drugstore.
We have Epsom salt.
Okay, magnesium is Mg. Okay, S is sulfur and O is oxygen. So Epsom salt, the chemical name for Epsom salt is MgSO4, magnesium sulfate. And earlier we used salt, regular salt, table salt,
Sodium.
is sodium chloride.
Sodium chloride.
Right, sodium chloride. Say that again. Sodium chloride.
Why?
Sodium chloride. In other words,
Salt.
salt has just two elements. Sodium, which is Na, and Cl, which is chlorine. Okay. Then I'm going to ask this question to Anthony. What is this here, Anthony? H2O2.
No.
H2O2.
Said it last time.
Hydrogen, oxygen.
Hydrogen peroxide. Okay. Right.
You forgot.
Right. But water is just H2O. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make hydrogen. So, yes, what's the question? Quick question.
So like hydrogen has two hydrogens and the oxygen has two
Two
Two atoms.
Two atoms make up the one molecule of hydrogen peroxide. Mhm.
That's right. It has
Two
two of each.
molecules, two atoms of hydrogen, two
Good
atoms of
observation.
oxygen,
Very good.
and come together to make one molecule of hydrogen peroxide.
Okay, but what's the difference between that and water? What water has?
H.
Two atoms
Two
of,
atoms
of H.
H.
Of hydrogen.
And hydrogen zero
No,
Ox-
one.
One oxygen. Yes, very good. Very good. Excellent.
Mhm.
Joy. Okay, you see, water is two atoms of hydrogen and just one atom of oxygen. And what was said early on is hydrogen peroxide has two atoms of hydrogen and two atoms of oxygen. So what we're going to do, we're going to make
hydrogen.
hydrogen. Okay? Okay. Okay. And I'm going to put the hydrogen in a balloon. Okay? Okay. I put some aluminum foil in there, some aluminum.
Mm-mm. No, it's a
This is
chemical.
not water. Okay.
And we'll see whether or not, you see the balloon is an empty balloon, a flat balloon. We'll see whether or not it is making hydrogen, if the balloon is going to get full.
Well, okay, it's going to take a minute to start where the reaction starts. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to do a little experiment with a balloon. I first want somebody to blow a balloon for me. Okay.
See, Anthony.
And then they go,
No, that's good.
that's good. Okay, give it to me. Anthony. Okay, so Anthony blew up this balloon for us. So that's Anthony's air in there, his breath in there.
Okay. Okay,
See, the bottle's blowing the balloon too.
Yes.
okay.
Can I keep that?
What is in this balloon?
Helium.
Hydrogen. Hydrogen.
Just so silly.
From water, hydrogen. We make hydrogen from water.
That's what they balloons. Wow. It's getting more bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay, Anthony, come and see if you feel any. No, okay. No, it's not that hot. Okay, hold it around the side.
It's not that hot.
Right. It's getting warm. It's getting warm. It's now getting hot. And the balloon is getting bigger.
Brother Austin, I was just gonna ask, like, when we're done, can we eat it?
Okay.
Can you eat it?
No,
Oh,
Sonia,
I want. Eat a balloon. I don't like eating balloons.
You done. Listen.
Yucky.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you right. Sorry. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Lots of oxygen,
Oh, boy,
Hydrogen.
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 Lots of hydrogen.
Please, go now.
Whoa, whoa! Oh!
okay.
And
Okay.
Whoa!
Okay, we see our hydrogen
whoa,
balloon. See how big it got?
Oh, it's still
Whoa!
smoking.
Yes. But we can't cover it because it's gonna explode. Maybe we should take it
No,
outside.
no. I mean, I was going to maybe like put another balloon on top there.
One hydrogen balloon.
Right. Okay, this one.
That thing's really blowing.
Yep. Okay. What I'm going to do, here is Anthony's balloon, and here's my hydrogen balloon. This balloon is trying to get away from here. Okay, so we'll leave that balloon for now. Here is Anthony's balloon, and here is my small hydrogen balloon that I made in advance. Okay? All right.
Hydrogen.
What kind of balloon is this?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. Okay. Okay. I guess it's because it's hot. This here is hot. This here is called an exothermic reaction. In other words, it gives off heat. This reaction gives off heat.
Yeah. Ooh,
Okay. All right. Okay.
Be careful.
Okay.
it's literally burning.
All right. Yeah,
Wow.
it's hot. Okay. Okay.
Come on, touch it. Hot.
Wow.
Okay.
Can
Yes.
you make fire out of
Okay.
the-
Okay. Here we go. So. Okay. Okay. Let's move it. Okay. We're gonna first check. Tell me which is the air balloon, the red or the green? Which is air?
The red.
Well, we're gonna find out. Okay, that's, you see, you heard the pump?
Yeah. I know that one.
Okay, could you tell which one is the
Okay.
hydrogen balloon?
The green one.
Right, okay. You don't have to take it so far. Sonia, okay, could you tell which one was the hydrogen balloon?
The green.
The green one. Now, let me tell you something. In life, sometimes we see things and they look the same. These two containers look the same, but one would have air and one could have anything else. Sometimes you look at two situations. God, you can't see God, but he's right there. But you can't see the devil either. They're right there. So you have to know the difference. You have to know which one to choose. And you have to know that God is real and so is the devil. And as youngsters, you need to differentiate between the two of them. Notice the difference between air and hydrogen. They look, none of them you could see, but there's a big difference in the way they exploded.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, if you think that was a big explosion, this is a big balloon and I wouldn't even explode.
No more explosions.
I would not even do that one. Okay. Now,
I know what you did talk
okay.
about me.
By the way, Joy, could you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know they said that the earth was formed by an explosion?
Yeah.
The Big Bang. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Look, I can't see any part of this balloon. The balloon, we can't see any part of the balloon. It exploded and it went in pieces. So when there's an explosion, things don't come back together. In fact, I had a nice drawing on the balloon before it exploded. I draw a nice house on that balloon. And I can't even find the house, much as find the balloon. I can't find anything. Because when things explode, they don't come together in any order. Look how God made us in perfect order. Notice my nose is in perfect order, in alignment with my mouth, with my eyes. Everything is properly lined up. That's the way God made us, in perfect order. So the earth had to be created by some designer, which is God, which is God. So don't believe when people tell you that this earth came about by some explosion. It's nonsense. Doesn't make sense to anybody. Okay. Okay. What we're going to do now, we're going to do some quick, yes, we're going to do some math. So a quick review. Salt is the solute. Salt is the solute, and water is the solvent. When water dissolves, when salt dissolves in water, it forms a solution. Anthony says solution. Solution. A solution is formed when a solute dissolves in a solvent. What is the solute? Which one is the solute?
Oh.
The salt is the solute. Which one is the solvent? Water is the solvent. And if you heat the water, it will hold more solute. If you heat the water, it will hold more solute. Okay. So, and there are different things that dissolves in water. Some things are soluble in water and some things are not soluble. One thing that is soluble in water is salt
And magnesium.
and magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt. I'm sure your parents very likely have Epsom salt at home because it's great to help with certain things pertaining to your brain. If you do, some people do foot soaks, so the magnesium goes to your brain and it helps with dementia and different things. You need magnesium in your brain. But let me ask another question. What element messes up your brain? What element causes problems in your brain? In other words, what element can cause dementia, memory loss, or and things like that?
Aluminum.
Somebody said calcium. What do you say?
Aluminum.
Aluminum, right. Very good.
I knew the name, but I couldn't remember.
Aluminum.
I couldn't remember the name.
Excellent, Joy. What's the symbol for aluminum? Anybody? Al is a symbol for aluminum. Aluminum causes all kinds of problems in your brain. And so magnesium goes and removes some of it. In other words, if somebody has these problems, you try to give them things to get rid of the aluminum. And MgSO4, magnesium is one of the things that helps in that regard. Okay. Okay, so you can just do a brief review. Huh?
Okay, a brief summary, and then we go over to math, so you can get math on the screen. So we went over solution, right?
Yeah.
No talking, Levi. We went over solution and we said a solution is the combination of a solute and a solvent. So when you put a solute and a solvent together, you get a solution. And the solute is what? The salt. It is the hard thing, right? And the solvent is the water. When you put them together, you get a solution. Okay, and a saturated solution is one that cannot dissolve no more solute, right? It has had enough, like we saw. We dissolved a lot of salt in the water and it couldn't dissolve no more. Even if we added more salt, it was not dissolving because it was saturated, right?
Is there a technique that we can do to make it hold more salt?
What can we do to make the solution hold more salt?
Boil it.
Very good, boil it, very good.
Heat it.
Maya and Joy, both of you were right. Joy said heat it up and Maya said boil it, good. And it expands and it can hold more of the solute, very good. And we went over water and we said the chemical formula for water is what?
HO2.
H2O, that's water, H2O. It means, H2 means what?
Hydrogen.
Two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen.
Oxygen.
And very similar to water is hydrogen peroxide. It has two atoms of hydrogen, two atoms
of oxygen.
make up one molecule. The two atoms, the four atoms together make up one molecule of hydrogen peroxide. Okay. Yes, you have a question, Maya?
I was gonna say the first element that I knew before I came to Tennessee, the only element that I knew, but I did not even know what it meant. So I didn't bother, I didn't even know about timetables or anything.
So which element did you know?
Water first.
Water. Okay, so you knew water, H2O, right? It's very important. And we said water is very important. Over 70% of the world, the earth is made up of water. Over 70% of your body is water. That's why you have to drink enough water every day so your body can function properly. If you do not keep your 70% up, you'll be dehydrated and you start getting sick. You start getting headaches. You cannot learn. You cannot focus. Your memory will be messed up. You not remember things.
Memory loss.
Memory loss, exactly. Yes, Levi.
I also wanted to say, so when we left, we saw a waterfall.
You saw
Yeah,
waterfall,
it was
yes,
free.
exactly. And we went over the water cycle and we said what? The water from the lakes and the streams,
Only
and
9.
the ocean, they evaporate from the heat of the sun. And when they evaporate and go up and it's cooler up there, it condenses and it falls back down in rain and mist and fog and whatever. And the cycle keeps going. The water cycle is called.
And it looks
Okay.
like a circle.
Exactly. It evaporates, it condenses, it comes back down. It evaporates, it condenses, it comes back down. The cycle continues all the time. It's called the water cycle.
A good example is when your parents are cooking. When your parents are cooking and you look at the pot, even if they're cooking macaroni and cheese, when you look at the pot cover, do you see macaroni and cheese?
No.
No.
What do you
Heat.
Water
Water.
droplets, right?
Water, because
When
the
I feel
pot
it, it's wet.
and it's wet.
Right.
Because it
And the water evaporates, the
And
water from the food.
The pot is cooler and the pot cover cools it. And that's why that causes it to condense and form water again, and it drops back into the pot. And the cycle continues and continues and continues.
It's like it's
Okay,
raining.
math,
Right.
yeah, math.
So I guess the, you all missed our
The experiment.
experiments.
We
Right.
bought two
Okay.
balloons. One was fire, one was without fire.
No,
Okay.
We're going over
All right.
areas.
Okay.
I know my 9.
You know your
You know
nines?
your 9 times 7?
Yeah.
Do you want to say it for us? Go ahead and
You want
say
to
it.
do that for us? Do you want to? You don't have to.
Do you want to say it?
9.
9 times 1?
9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 8 is
9 times 8 is 72.
72.
Okay.
9 times 9 is 81. 9 times 10 is 90. 9 times 11 is 99. 9 times 12 is 108.
Very
Awesome,
good, Joy.
awesome. Very good, very good.
Very
Very
good,
good.
very good. The rest of you heard Joy?
Right.
So you have to
That's
start
9
early.
times.
Your timetable.
Which means that she knows 8, she knows 7. I quizzed her myself. She knows
6,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In
and
fact,
now she knows 9.
Joy, I'm going to even ask you a tough question here. But you just have to look at it and tell me the answer, Joy. What is 25 times 25?
625.
What's that?
625.
Who said 6 and 5?
Anthony, how did you get that, Anthony?
Because you've been asking the question all over and over and over.
But that's the whole idea. I don't care how you remember.
Oh my God. Ay, ay, ay.
Come on,
Okay.
come here. Come here.
Thank you, Professor Anthony.
You said
Whoa.
it's 50. Okay, come on. I see it right down here. It's the same part of his brain.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
Awesome. Okay, so
Oh my
Joy,
goodness.
let's go back again, Joy. Joy, let's look at this one here. This one hasn't stuck to Anthony's brain as yet, but it will stick. Joy, what is 35 times 35?
1225.
1225. Anthony, you know what she did? She used a simple technique. She just said the number higher than 3 is 4. She just multiplied 3 times 4 is 12, and it always ends in 25. That's how she knows a simple secret. But guess what?
Did you get it, Maya?
The advantage that she has is that
Always
if
look
you
at the
don't
first
know the
number.
tables, 3 times 4, you can't work the problem. You can't use the technique. That's why I try so hard to get you guys to learn your tables. In fact, let's go to a harder one. Last one, Joy. We're almost getting out of that. 95 times 95.
9025.
90, 25. So she can just look at the problem and answer it, right? Because this is what, Anthony, what she's saying, the number higher than 9 is 10, and 9 times 10 is 90, and it ends with 25. Isn't that simple? I bet you can do that. as
Okay,
well.
check Maya too here. Give her a problem.
No, okay.
You got 45 times 25.
But she has to this is the one that
Did you get it, Maya? Oh.
I would get the reason why I can't do it.
Oh.
okay. Oh, okay. Maya,
Yes.
could you do like 95 times 95? Could you tell what the answer to that one may be? If you know that one,
That would be easy.
that's what?
That would be easy because the one that's higher than 10, the 9 is 10, and every time you have 10 plus any number out, like 10 plus 5 is 50.
No, times, you mean times, you mean.
No, you're looking at the 9.
So what's the answer to this, Maya?
9 to 25.
90. You see, that's why I just wanted to see if you understand the principle. So later on, when you know your 4 times tables, 5 times tables, you would know how to work the problem because you would know what 4 times 5 is. 4 times 5 is 20. So the answer is 20, 25. Then when you know 6 times 7 is 42. So 7 42, 25. So you understand the principle, Maya, and that's what I want to see. Okay, Ernie, what do you think?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, very
That's good. They're
I'm proud of you
learning.
guys.
They're learning. They're
Right,
learning.
right. You, Anthony, you surprising
good.
us too.
Ah,
25.
Anthony took me for a ride today.
Why?
Wow.
Jordan, and I said, yeah, I know that. 625.
Ay, ay, ay. Have mercy,
I
Lord.
had it on the board, then someone erased it, and when I came in this last time, and this time, is that what? 25 plus 25.
Times.
620 times 25 is 625.
Awesome, awesome. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Right. Okay, you know something?
So Maya, can you explain how you got 625, 25 times 25? Can you explain it?
25 plus 25.
It's not plus, it's times.
2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6, and then it always is.
Very good. Very good, Maya.
Way to go, Maya. So you always look at the first number and put one more on top and multiply that number higher, one number higher, and then
She
you
get it.
multiply it. Good.
Very good.
She
very
got
good.
it.
Yeah, she did.
Very good.
Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna do some little areas and perimeters quickly. Okay. Now, these are-
May I ask a
Sure,
suggestion?
sure.
Can you make it bigger? Because the camera is seeing it a little too small.
Okay, so they
Can you
can,
make a jumbo size?
okay, I'll make
almost-
this jumbo size, like a jumbo fries, they
Jumbo.
say.
Jumbo, there you go, jumbo size. Yes, make it bigger so the folks online can see.
Okay.
Make a nice big one. Yeah.
It's only a foot tall, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay. I make it even a little bigger than that.
Bigger than a jumbo.
That's jumbo.
Bigger than jumbo.
I know the kids love that word jumbo.
Jumbo is kind of like, jumbo is the same high, and my mom will use jumbo. Jumbo. Jumbo.
Now, could you guys see this here? These here are tiles.
Awesome.
These here are tiles. This tile is a foot long. You guys know those floor tiles?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a foot long, a foot long, a foot long, a foot long. So this whole top here is 3 tiles in a row. See what I will do?
3 feet.
Right, so this is 1 tile, 2 tiles, 3 tiles. So this is 3 feet. And how many feet is this? This is 2 feet.
There's
Okay.
6 boxes.
6 boxes. So how many square feet? Each tile is a square foot. So how many square feet do we have here?
5 feet.
Square feet. How many square feet? Now we're looking at areas. We're not talking about perimeters. We're talking about areas.
19. 19.
How many square
19.
feet do we have?
19.
Maya, I'm gonna come back to you.
I don't know.
This is 1 square foot. A tile, that is a square foot. It's a square and it's a foot
I
long.
don't- 6.
6, very good.
I was counting up.
Right.
8.
So this here is 1 square foot, another square foot, another 1, 3, okay, 6 square feet. So the area of this figure is 6 square feet. And that's why when you have to differentiate between square inches and perimeters. Now perimeter, what's the perimeter of this figure? It's not square. Perimeter is distance around. Distance around.
Five.
The rim, the rim, the rim, the rim, the rim.
4. 5. I know.
But let me talk with Anthony first. What are you saying, Anthony? No, talk to me. You can talk to me. You don't have to come. How many feet is the perimeter of this?
So how I got it is because
What did you get? What's your answer?
my answer is like 5 feet or 6.
5 feet.
I
Okay, let me check with you, Maya.
10
10.
feet.
Levi, how many you got?
10.
10. Well, Levi, I want you now to explain to me how you got 10. You can stay right there. You don't have to come up. You were saying the perimeter is 10 feet, right? Are you sure about that, Levi?
Yes.
Why did you get 10 feet? Why 10 feet?
Because 3 plus 2
Ah.
is 5.
Uh-huh.
And there's another 5.
Another 5. Where's
And
your
then 5 plus 5 is 10.
Awesome, awesome. Awesome, awesome. So we can give Levi a hand too. I think that was pretty cool. Okay, very nice, very nice. I like the way they explain it. They do a good job of
Kids are doing
explaining it.
great.
Right, right. So that's why you must know the difference between area and perimeter. Area is square feet. That's if you're painting something, area is the surface area. That's why when they talk about area, sometimes they use the term surface area. A lot of people get mixed up in math when they talk here about area and perimeter. Perimeter, when you hear rim, you know it's a distance around, like the rim of your bicycle is the rim around it. That's your perimeter. Okay. Right, okay. And so the area is the surface area. If you're going to use a piece of cloth to cover it, or if you're going to paint it, it's the surface area. But perimeter is the distance around. Okay, and area is measured in square feet. Okay. Another thing I want us to take a look at are some different shapes. Okay. I want you to take a close look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off drawing a rectangle, but I don't want to talk about rectangles. I want to talk about triangles. Okay, so here is my rectangle. I'm going to come back to the same rectangle. 3 and 2. We're going to use that same rectangle. But guess what? I have 2 of these here. Okay. I have 2 triangles here. Let's see here.
I could handle those.
I have these, when I put these 2 triangles together, look at this here. You see, it's a 4-sided figure.
Square.
It's a square. So if you have a rectangle and you cut it in half, you make 2 triangles.
Diagonally.
Right.
That should be
Diagonal.
Right, you cut it.
diagonally.
Okay, and Uncle Ernie, so you just didn't cut it in any half.
You
like,
could cut it in,
like if you had it like
straight.
this,
right, you could have cut it in the
you could
middle.
have cut it like this.
Right.
No, but we cut it diagonally. Diagonal
Diagonal.
means from one corner to the other
another
corner.
Diagonal means like slanted.
Well, from one corner
From
to
one
another
end
corner.
to the next. Like if I have this here, this is the diagonal. From this end to this end is a diagonal. From this end to this end is a diagonal.
Right.
Okay?
Star. That was a 5-star.
It's a 5-star.
Yeah. I think that look like a star.
It doesn't look like a star to you.
It's not even a star.
Okay.
It looks like a diamond.
Okay, so let's go back to our triangle. I start off with my rectangle and I made my triangle. Okay, so this is my triangle, the bottom here. Okay. Okay. What's the length of this side here? Think about it before you talk. Think about it. Think about it before you talk. What's the length of this side of my triangle? How long?
10.
What's that?
10.
This one side here. By the way, this is just causing you to think. We're just causing you to think. Remember, what's the length of this side?
10.
2 feet. I told you it's 2 feet. The length of this side, I wrote it down for you. Remember the first rectangle we had? This is 2 feet. Okay.
It's 3.
What's the length of this other side?
3.
3 feet. Right. And let's suppose this cross one here. Do you think this cross, this diagonal would be more than 3 or less than 3?
More. Less. More.
This diagonal, you think it's going to be more or less than 3?
More.
More.
If you're going like turning, or there's something like this, the turning is the longer route.
Right, the turning is the longer route. Awesome. I like the way you explain it.
Can I say something?
Yes, okay.
I was going to say the reason why is because it's slanted. That's why the reason why it's slanted is because it cannot stay straight. That's longer than straight. The reason why it's slanted is longer than straight.
Right. You see, that's the thing. When you, at a young age, when you discuss these things, you get a chance to understand math and so forth inside
Fantastic.
out.
Hi.
Inside out. In
That's
fact,
great, kids.
in fact, let me show you something. I'm going to teach you a rule now. You see this point and these 2 points here. There's a rule that says what's the shortest distance from point A to point B? The shortest distance, if we ask you to go from here to Rita's house, right?
3.
The shortest distance is a straight line. Because if you decide to go like this to Rita's house, go up a hill, down a hill, go around a curve, run like this, then you go. You take the long cut. The long cut.
That's why when you're driving, it's better to take a highway instead of the narrow.
There we go. That's a good point. Very good. So the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Okay? So the shortest distance between here and here is this straight line. So listen carefully to me now. What? Sonia, okay, Sonia's here, but I want you to, I know you got some prizes. You know, I would like to give somebody a prize here. You know, I'm going to ask you a question here. I'm going to shade part. I'm going to shade this part here. This part of this figure that I shaded here, this triangle, what is the area of that triangle?
What's the area?
What's the area?
Distance all around?
No, that's
That's
perimeter.
perimeter.
Okay. What's
I
the
don't understand. I forgot.
It's the
Okay.
space, when you're measuring the space inside a figure is the area.
10.
I know it's a hard question, huh?
Yeah,
You
but
don't understand. Okay.
I think she understands now.
Right.
The space inside.
Right, the space inside. I know it's a very, very tough question.
Yeah.
Got a lot of
13.
huh?
I get 13.
13.
Okay, I have 2 questions for you. Question number 1, what's the area of this here? This figure here. Question number 2, what's the perimeter of this figure?
The area around?
The area around this here is 5 5 here. This piece, this diagonal is 5 feet. What is the perimeter of this triangle?
10. 13. 10.
Anthony,
Huh?
what's the perimeter of this triangle?
Whatever the distance around.
Perimeter is distance around.
14.
Okay. That's your
Areas
answer.
and
14.
size.
Joy, what you say? What you say, Joy?
I was saying that perimeter is the distance around.
The distance around. So,
So then-
could you calculate what the perimeter of this triangle is? I know I'm asking you all a tough question. I know that. I know it's a tough question. Yes.
The distance all around is 10.
The distance around is 10 feet. Let's see. How did you get
10
that?
feet. Because 2 plus 3 is 5, and then 5 plus 5 is 10.
Okay, Joy, what answer did you get?
10.
How did you get 10?
2 plus 3 is 5, and 5 plus 5 is 10.
Okay, what you got?
10.
10? Okay, now that's awesome. Awesome for you to be able to look and tell what the perimeter of a triangle is. You see, this helps you to think. It strengthens it's like a muscle. You strengthen your muscle, it gets stronger. So you strengthen your thinking. This, I think, is awesome that you can look at a triangle and tell what the perimeter of the triangle is.
I can tell the inside blank is going to be 12.
The inside will be 12.
No, like the spots inside of there.
Right
It's
here?
it's gonna be 12. I counted them all together.
Okay, now he's saying the area.
He's counting
Anthony's
them.
saying the area
He's counting them.
is 12. You agree with him?
The area you have to multiply.
Well, this is how I will do it. All of you guys know what the area of this here is. Remember, we had a rectangle, and this here was the 3, and this was 2, and you said that the area was 6 square feet. You remember? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The area of the whole thing was 3 times 2, which is 6 square feet. So the half of that would be how many square feet? Half of the 6 square feet would be what? Yeah,
3 feet.
3 square feet. See, this is area now. Area is square units, square feet. Okay, folks, that's the end of your session. I'm proud of how you guys did.
Guys are great.
Hydration. So everything in your body needs calcium, all the processes in your body. So that's important that you keep that calcium level up. If the calcium level is low, you will know, because if you're sick or if you have a sore or something and it is not healing, you're not getting better, most likely your calcium level is low. You're developing cavities, you know that your teeth are weak. You keep on falling and having fractures and bone breaking, then you know your structure, your bones are weak. That's a calcium deficiency. It could also be a vitamin C deficiency too, because vitamin C holds the cells together. Yes, Maya?
Oh, the question says surroundings. How do you put calcium in your teeth? So you put calcium in your teeth.
Okay, we did that. What are the foods we said that have calcium in them? That's how we put calcium in the teeth. We eat the foods and our body will extract the elements, the minerals, extract the elements
Through
from the
digestion.
food, right? Through the digestive process. We went through digestion with you. So when you eat, your body breaks it down, the food digests it, and extracts or take out those elements that it needs, those minerals, and then it reconstructs it into cells and new tissues and new systems and so in your body. So what foods did we say have calcium in it? When we
But
went through
before I
that?
go to that, should they, because they thought that maybe you drink the milk to get calcium.
No,
Talk to that.
well, the cow does not drink milk to get calcium. The cow is a big animal, big bones and strong. And what does the cow eat?
Grass.
So how does the cow make milk? By eating grass. So you eat grass also. You eat all your greens and you get calcium. You can also get calcium from molasses. Blackstrap molasses, we said, is the number one for calcium. Almonds, the nuts, give you calcium too, right? And the greens, bananas give you potassium. Yes, Joy?
Apples.
Miss Fiera asking a
Somebody was
question.
saying something?
Miss Fiera.
Sir said that we could get calcium from molasses in the first class.
Right, exactly. Okay.
Okay, all
All
right.
right.
Okay, all right, folks. Well, thank you very much. We had a good session. I'm very proud of how you guys did, very proud. All of you.
And we
Thank
see you
you.
next week at 4 o'clock. Let's have our closing song,
Okay,
our goodbye song.
see you next week, next Thursday.
Now we saying goodbye to our class today. God in education will bring you through your day. Put your trust in Jesus, He'll show you the way to fulfill the love of Christ of joy and peace. Once more, wish to say goodbye to our class today. God in education will help you through the day. Hallelujah! Put your trust in Jesus, He'll show you the way to fulfill the love of Christ of joy and peace. Finally saying goodbye to our class today. God in education will teach you how to pray. Put your trust in Jesus, He'll show you the way to fulfill the love of Christ and joy and peace. Join Jim. Join Jim. Yes, join GEM tutorial today. Yes, join Jim. I said join Jim. Yes, join GEM tutorial. John Jim. I said John Jim. John Jim. John GEM tutorial today.
You know our closing song, let's go.